Says it's loading in. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hi, guys. I see a ton of hellos in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Let's give people a couple minutes to join in, guys. How's it going, everybody? Hi.
Hello, everyone joining in.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, Keith, Brian, Erica. It's so good to see you guys. We're so excited. We're going to be starting our How to Plan Your Career Path today, and we'll give it just a few more minutes maybe to let people join in, and we'll get right started.
Happy Friday, everybody. Yes, I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. Get some relaxation in. What's everybody doing this weekend? Drop it in the chat. Love it, Keith. We're always here. We love a Cheyenne. I'm pretty biased. I think it's a great name. Hi, everybody. Hi, Lauren. Everybody, Lauren is in our customer success and happiness management team. Make sure you guys connect with her on LinkedIn. Go ahead and send her a note. Tell her you were in the live. She'll be happy to connect. You brought sushi for Jerry. He's in a meeting right now, but he might stop by. We'll see how it goes.
Studying.
GMAT. Oh my goodness. Andrea, good luck. Poolside, yes.
Fun.
Erica, applying to jobs. We're right there with you. Jasper, oh no, we're so sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully this live will be able to help you planning your career path, figuring out a new option. I'm so sorry to hear that. We know a ton of people are having that going on right now. We really feel for you guys. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Cindy, Chris, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, I'll start off just so we can kind of let everybody know what's going on, who we are, a little bit about Wonsulting, and then we'll kind of go from there. Sound good?
Awesome.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Cheyenne. I'm the chief of staff here at Wonsulting. Happy to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. Make sure that you send all three of us notes and, we'll get back to you ASAP. We're super stoked to have you here. Wonsulting Speaker Series has been something that we've done for years now. And every time we come back and just want to make sure we're pouring into our community, pouring into all of you the same way you guys pour into us. Wonsulting, we're all about turning underdogs into winners. So we're here to help you, here to give you the real 411 about what's going to help you plan your career path, the best ways to find jobs, and the best ways to connect with awesome hiring managers and recruiters. So we're so happy to have you here. I'll go ahead and pass this off to Cindy, and then Cindy will pass it off to Chris just to give you guys a little bit more background about who we are and what we're going to talk about today.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Cindy, and I've been in a few Instagram lives if you've seen me over there, but I am the marketing associate for Wonsulting. I manage all the social media aspect and coordinate. So if you ever need help on anything as well, always make sure to DM us. We try to be as responsive as possible. And yeah, we're really excited to get today's speaker series going. So stay tuned and make sure every Friday we're also coming back with a new one. So yeah, get ready for that. And Chris, I think, is it black for you, Cheyenne? I don't know.
Yes, it is. We might have just lost him.
We can give him a few seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really excited. Today is going to be a good one.
Chris is joining back in, but let me give you guys a 411 about Chris. He's our career strategist here at Wonsulting. He deals with every single one of our clients. He is super helpful. Here he is. He's back. Chris, I'll let you take it away. I was just telling him what you do for Wonsulting. You good, Chris?
Excellent. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on this call. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. Let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Chris Kwok. I'm one of the career consultants here at Wonsulting. Good morning. All right. So a little bit more about me. So my career spans about 20 years. And over the last 15 years of my career, I've actually personally interviewed over 1,000 candidates and personally hired over 200 candidates myself into different roles in the different various companies I've worked with. I've held multiple leadership positions across multiple Fortune 500 companies. And more recently, I was with Amazon Corporate. I was a regional manager, oversaw the entire logistics for the entire city of San Diego. So I'm based here in San Diego and really happy to be on this call with all of you to share a lot of wisdom and wealth.
Woohoo! Sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Cindy. All right, everybody. Well, make sure you drop your emojis in the comments below. Let us know you're here. We'd love to see everybody. We'd love to kind of keep you guys, here and engaged with us throughout the live. So make sure to drop some clapping emojis. I'm going to call some people out. Let's go. Come on. See them starting to come in a little bit. Hi, Jasmine. Andrea, Keith. Hi, everybody. Okay, perfect. All righty. Chris, do you want to start taking it away a little bit with telling us a little bit more about how you lead your current career consulting with Wonsulting, what we do, maybe the things that we've talked about in terms of how to properly plan your career path? What are the first steps and how do we get started? I think you're on mute, Chris.
Cheyenne, thanks so much for asking that question. Can you repeat that question one more time, please? My internet just broke up. I'm actually staying at a high-rise Airbnb right now, and my internet's a little spotty right now. So
it's okay. It's okay. We're just asking if you want to start leading us on like how you do career strategy calls for Wonsulting, what we talk about, what the best ways to start planning your career path are, and kind of give our audience, the 411 and break down that process for us. Hi from Texas. Hi, everybody.
all right. Cheyenne, great question. This is how we start our career consulting calls here at Wonsulting is first off, what is your outcome goal? First of all, I have to understand, we have to understand as a team what your goal is. Is your goal to earn a new role, a new job? Is your goal to move into a new industry, right? Is your goal to earn a higher income? What are your goals, right? Is your goal to look for a role that's going to really get you to a new level in life? Right. So that's really important is to really truly understand who you are as a person and what drives you. Right. But also on top of that, we go through a 12-point, I would say, question assessment to really find out what's going to motivate you. Right. And what are your reasons why you're looking for a new role or a new job?
Got it. Okay, perfect. All right, everybody. So I guess step one then that Chris would recommend is let's start with getting out a piece of paper, getting out whatever your phone, whatever you want to do, right? Let's start with number one. What are your goals? What are your end goals? That's the first step into figuring out your next career path, the perfect career path for you. What are your goals? Right, Cindy? I mean, you talk to people in our DMs all the time about what are your outcomes? What are you looking for? What do you want to get out of this? And that's really what Wonsulting starts you with is let's put you on the right path to getting you to success and getting you in the area. Is it wrong to want a higher income? Feels wrong to say more money? No. Definitely not wrong. Definitely don't feel bad for that, guys. See, the thing is you guys can say, hey, I'm happy in my career. I love my job, but maybe it's just not making ends meet, and that's okay. And that's where you take your strategies and you start learning out how do you build that perfect career path, right? So I think Chris is going to start walking us through now what step 2 to that is. After you say, hey, my goal is X, maybe it is more money. Maybe you need more income. What do you do next? Hybrid work freedom. We see
so number one is finding once you find out what your end goals are, right?
Go ahead, Chris. I think you have a lag.
I do have a lag. I apologize. But yeah, absolutely understanding what your end goals are, but also giving you, I would say, advice in terms of what's next, right? Here are the steps to reach your end goals, right? And these end goals, it could take years or even months to really achieve your end goals, right? So it's about preparation and taking a massive planning for a bias of action, right?
Yep. 100%. And how does someone do that, Chris? What do they do? What is the action item there?
Right. So number one is finding a mentor or mentors, right? So it's really important to really build out early in your careers to find people who are about 10 years ahead of you in your career, right? Let's just say you're 24 years old and you have an analyst role at a tech company, right? So you have to make sure that the people that you work with, find a mentor that's maybe within your group or within other divisions that can really help you out. Someone that's 10 years ahead of you in their career will tell you exactly what their experiences are, but just not relying just on one leader. Ask around, ask a lot of mentors or mentees, or ask people that can give you advice. Hey, this is what I'm looking for in my career. What are your thoughts? Right. And Andrea, it looks like you wrote a question here. Why is this service instead of doing a full-time MBA? What are the percent of success? Andrea, can you rewrite that question? Not sure on the clarity of that question.
Chris, I see a question in the comments. How does one find a mentor? I'm 41.
Andrea, can you repost that question? All right. So excellent. Yeah. So, I'm 44 and I still am looking for mentors, right? You don't have to directly ask for them to be a mentor, but connect with people who are about 10 years ahead of you, right? It could be someone as easy as somebody in your family, like a cousin, right? Somebody on LinkedIn, right? There's a lot of influencers on LinkedIn. You can message them, right? People are willing to help others as long as you engage with their content, right? Finding a mentor, you can find them at work. You can find them at any community organizations you're a part of, amongst friends, right? Ask your friends, hey, do you know anybody that's maybe about 10 years older than me that's gone through the ups and downs of a career or found a lot of success in their career, and ask them.
Yeah, that's great feedback, everybody. I don't have much networking, so how can I find a mentor? That's a good question.
There's another question is, so there's another question here. Wouldn't finding more people cause confusion? Actually, it doesn't cause confusion. It actually causes clarity, right? Because you can compare and contrast some of their advice. Everybody's going to be a little bit different in terms of their career, right? Everybody's going to be a little bit different in terms of their career journey. So, but also everybody's going to be working at a different industry. So it's really important to find people that are going to give you, I would say, different advice, but it's okay, right? It's good to take it all in.
Love it.
Next question is, usually this is an end goal of an MBA changing industry or higher. Hey, Joshua, thank you. It looks like it's about it's not about your age, but where you want to go. There's a lot of people, I've worked with a lot of people who are younger than me that have less work experience, but seen different aspects within different industries. Cheyenne and Cindy, why don't you guys read off the questions, because the questions are pouring in.
Yeah, they're pouring in. I'll start reading them through. Cindy, maybe we can bounce back and forth, and Chris, you can just answer after that. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, Cindy, go ahead.
All right, so I think we have a follow-up from Andrea. So she says, why this path with you guys instead of an MBA? They have since years ago offered this for years for the same goal. What is the difference? And percent of success is, for example, out of 10 people to how many reach success? Do you see that one, Cheyenne?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so Chris, if maybe we can stop at that follow-up question.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Andrea, great question. So, why this path with you guys instead of an MBA? I earned an MBA, right? The thing is, the MBA is not. If you go to a B school and earn an MBA, they're not going to provide you the same experience that Wonsulting offers in terms of career consulting. They're not going to give you the time and attention that you need. They come from a very academia background, right? They haven't worked in large corporate America. They've worked in an academic institution, typically a nonprofit, right? So you're going to have a very different perspective of those who are giving you career consulting advice at the academic MBA level or even at the undergraduate level. The advice is going to be completely different because they haven't worked in corporate America. They haven't worked in an office, right? They haven't worked at home. They worked on a college campus, right? But also, earning an MBA is great. I think it's still a great path to go, right? It's going to open a lot of doors. It's going to open a lot of doors for you, especially for larger corporate companies as well. So, I do recommend it. But also, there's a lot of ways into a lot of these tech companies like Amazon and Google and so forth.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. All right.
And the percent of success, for example, out of 10 people to assess how many. Can you repeat that question, Andrea?
I think another question coming in is like, how do I approach someone to be a mentor who's maybe outside of my current organization or maybe not in the same field as me, but in a field that I want to go into? How do you start that? Do you connect on LinkedIn? Do you send them an email? What's the best way to get started there?
Absolutely. Sharia, hey, good to see you again. I know I helped you out with some career consulting. Absolutely. How to approach somebody there's a couple ways you can approach them. I would say through email or through a simple message through LinkedIn, right? Someone who's outside your current organization, but also mentors want to learn as well, right? So they want to learn a little bit about what you're doing too, right? So there's a give and take in any type of relationship, and also a mentor type of relationship. If someone has that wisdom that's maybe 10 years above you, say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Could you give me some advice, right? Be very direct and say, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a potential mentor that's gone through what I'm going through right now, and I'd love to see if you can help me out.
I think we might have lost Chris there for a second, but to plus one on that, everybody, we're also going to be doing a coffee chats. How do you start that conversation on LinkedIn? How do you start it over email on September 2nd? So the same link you guys used to come into this chat today, to come into this conversation, tune in there and we'll be breaking down step by step how you guys start your coffee chats, how you keep them engaging, and how you show value add on your side, but also from your mentor's side, right? Because like Chris said, there's value in asking for a mentor, but there's also value in being in a mentorship, right? It's a two-way system. You both are adding value to each other, to your networks, and to things that you're going to learn and grow with together. So let's go ahead and keep going. Cindy, you want to pick another question from the comments?
Yes, I think just going off of that perfectly, we have someone who asked, Chris, how often should you check in with your mentor and how do you keep the relationship going? So maybe we can give some tips about how they can connect better throughout a long period of time. Maybe any tips on that?
Yeah, great question. Utara, great question. Check in with your mentor once a month. Let them know how you're doing. Give them an update, right? you always make the first move in terms of giving the mentor updates, because the mentor is giving you a lot of value, but also the mentor wants to know that you're actually making actions, you're making decisions, and you're actually putting their advice into action, right? It could be a simple email, a simple 2-sentence email, right? You keep the relationship going by communication, right? Asking questions, giving updates, right? Text messaging is a great way to do it. Message them if they have an Instagram account, LinkedIn account, send them a message. That's a great way to do it, but once a month is a great way to go. I have a few mentors that I update once a month, and I do it on the 17th of each month. Just a random number that I put on my calendar, but I want to do that because there's a give and take. They feel mentors feel energized and rewarded if they can see progress and that you're serious about making this progress as well.
I love that, guys. Make sure you guys drop a little coffee emoji in the chats below so that way we can see that you guys are listening, that you guys are hearing Chris, that way you guys are going to do that with yourself this week. We're going to challenge all of you next week. This is a personal challenge from me. Make sure you add me on LinkedIn. Tell me you did this. Tell me what's going on. I want to know your feedback. Put a coffee chat or a coffee emoji in the chat to let us know that you're going to do that this week. You're going to find a mentor. You're going to reach out to a mentor. You're going to connect with an old mentor. You're going to let them know what you're doing, what success you're having, maybe even the struggles you're going through, right? See if they can help you bridge that gap.
Yeah, awesome. So, Chris, just another comment that's flying in here. Tenzin asked, does having a job experience in a different country other than the USA decrease your chance of being considered here in US? So, switching gears maybe to kind of like just job experience and hiring, things like that.
Not at all. Great question, Tenzin. Not at all. Having a job experience in a different country other than the U.S. decrease your chance of being considered? Not at all. The world is changing, and it's drastically changed over the last 2 years. Is that a lot of companies are open to hiring those outside the U.S. Right? If you can bring value and show value, right, companies will give you a shot. Right? There's a lot of laws now are changing around hiring potentially people outside of the U.S. Right? But also make sure you highlight that on your resume. You can, if you follow some of Jonathan's and Jerry's content, they have some great resume templates that you can use and copy. Okay? So, absolutely, having job experience in a different country other than the U.S. does not decrease your chance of being considered here in the U.S. As long as you can provide value, and that the job role contains what they're looking for, and you have that background, you'll have a shot at interviewing for the role.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So Jasmine said, I've been applying to jobs, but most companies want to underpay. How do I handle that?
Yeah, guys, so we're actually going to be doing a full conversation at the end of next month. I can give you guys the exact day. We're going to be doing on September 16th, how to negotiate your compensation, break it down. What's the right numbers? What's, shooting too high, shooting too low. But I think what Chris can kind of shed light here on for you all is when you're making your career path, right? How do you make sure you're choosing a job that is right for your needs financially? How do you make sure to set yourself up for success and make sure that you use your tools, your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn as a place to show your worth to your employer, to say, I need this amount of money in my job and I'm worth this amount of money in my job. I'm an investment and this is how it's going to be rewarding for you guys.
All right. So I'm just seeing there's like a bunch of points here. Sorry?
Chris is on mute and he's talking.
Oh, Chris, I think it'll lag.
Sorry, guys, technical difficulties today. Wonsulting, if you guys did not know, is fully remote. We are all across the world. So Cindy is in Canada. I am in Los Angeles. Chris is in San Diego. So we are all over the place doing so many different things. So again, we do apologize for some of the technical difficulties. You know, we're just human, just like you guys. We're working it through, but thank you so much for sticking it out with us. We're so happy you guys are here. Until we can get Chris back. Oh, I think he's coming in. Here we go. Chris, you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So the question was about candidates being underpaid, especially for candidates who are outside of the U.S. Excellent. Okay. So during the initial conversation with the recruiter, that should be amongst your first group of questions, right? When you speak to a recruiter during a phone screen, you should ask them, what is the expectation? What is your allocated budget set aside for this role, right? So ask them, what is the estimated budget set aside for this role for compensation, right? And they'll give you a range, right? So as long as you can provide value, you know that you can provide and you can deliver, then they can get pretty close or maybe potentially match what you're looking for.
Love it. Love it. I see some more questions coming in. Let me take a look here. So someone said, this is a really good career path question. Someone said, I'm a junior tech consultant working on a data engineering project, but my goal is to get into the cloud field. How would you suggest some simple points that won't distract me from my goal? How do I get there?
Cheyenne, can you repeat that question one more time, please?
Yeah, Burhan said, I'm currently a junior tech consultant working in data engineering, but my goal is to get into the cloud field. What are some simple career point suggestions that you think would work for them to make sure that they're not distracting, but help them get there?
I apologize. It's real spotty here, the internet. So can you read one more time, please? Can you repeat that last section of that question, please?
They're a junior tech consultant currently working in data engineering, but want to get into the cloud field. What are some career points that they can use to get them there, but that also are not distracting?
Excellent. Great question. So this is the number one, right? If you're already a junior tech engineer that's looking to get in cloud consult, take some cloud courses online, right? There's a lot of free cloud courses you can take online. Add that to your resume, right? When you apply to roles, make sure that you highlight a lot of your cloud experience in your resume, and also see if you can work on any independent cloud projects on the side, right? So if you're already for example, a junior analyst and you want to get into cloud computing, make sure that you take some type of courses, something that you can add in terms of your experience on your resume, right? But also on top of that, see if you can take on some small projects as a third-party consultant. You can take those on. You can find those online where they'll pay you, depending on the project, a small cloud computing project. Make sure that you can work on that project so you can add that to your resume, to the project section of your resume. Also, additionally, there's another option is just you could also, if you already have a full-time role, maybe you can probably do this on the side, is having a part-time internship in cloud computing. You can find that as well, right? So I know that you might be stretched thin, but this is probably a great way to build experience, is do a side internship where you get exposed for maybe over 3-4 months of cloud computing. So that way you can put that on your resume as well. Something that you can do remotely, maybe after hours, after your full-time job.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. So I see another detailed question here. I've seen it a few times. So Jasper asked, I'm interested in multiple roles for my next job: Scrum Master, Product Owner, BA, Strategist. How do I pitch myself to recruiters at staffing firms for these multiple roles? Someone might interpret it as a lack of focus, when the reality is that they all interest me and I have the skills for each role.
Great question. Okay, so you're interested in multiple roles for your next job. Really important here is that your resume. So your resume is going to show a lot of technical experience, but write a cover letter. Okay, we have our own Wonsulting cover letter that will explain exactly, I would say, your drive to work in any of these roles. Right. So write a cover letter. And what I want to do right now is let me share my screen here. Let me see if I can do it right now. Give me a quick minute. And let me know when you can see my screen. Cheyenne, Cindy, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Can you see my screen?
No. Let me try removing it.
Okay. Looks like there's a little bit of lag. Okay. Okay. Let me do it one more time. So I'm a visual guy. I want to show you.
Also, just jumping in here, Chris, Jasper did follow up, and I think he's really interested in the actual conversation portion too. So maybe after you do share your insight, maybe you can add some more on the actual conversation and what he can say to better pitch himself.
Thanks, Cindy. Absolutely. Cheyenne, Cindy, can you see my screen?
Chris, I added it, but it doesn't look like your Wi-Fi is strong enough for it to pick it in. It's just a white screen.
Okay, it looks like got it. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so Jasper, write a cover letter. Okay, I want you to email me. I'm going to give everybody my email address here. It's chris@wonsulting.com. Okay, and I've done this on a few lives, and I'm very impressed with those who email me. The reason why, it shows a lot of bias for action. So Jasper, email me. The best way to show roles and multiple roles is that you write different cover letters for each role. Okay. If you write a cover letter shows a narrative of who you are as a person. It shows the soul and spirit of who you are as a person in terms of your drive, right? Your resume is going to just reflect all your work experience, which is great. But adding a lot of personality to your cover letter is really important. So it doesn't interpret it as a lack of focus. You just have to customize your efforts in reaching out to these recruiters. And remember, if you have the technical expertise and experience, recruiters are always going to root for you. Their job is to move you on to the next stage in the interview process.
That's true, guys. And the best part is the whole template is free. The whole template is free on wonsulting.com. It's a free resource. We have a free cover letter, a free resume template, all of those things. You guys just plug your information in. We also now have Resume AI, and that helps you create your bullet points too. So if you're stuck, sign up for the wait list on our website. Make sure you guys are going in there, getting your access. I know last live, a ton of people were already telling us that they were utilizing that. So if you guys have access or you've signed up for the wait list, drop a little computer emoji in the chat and we'll make sure to take a look and see if we can even convince our team to let maybe some of you in a little bit earlier. We'll see what we can do. Also, we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. We're about halfway through, so make sure you guys are putting in your comments so we can make sure to get to them before the end of the live. There's definitely some more in here, Chris. Let's go ahead and give you another one. Someone said, I've never had a mentor, but I'm not giving up. Go you, Keith. We're so proud of you. Feel free to message us if you need help finding one. Email Chris, email me, email Cindy. We're happy to help. Someone said, does your service make sense for someone with 8+ years of experience who speaks 3 languages fluently, and has worked always in cross-functionally in international HQs, experience working in South America and Europe, or is this focused for juniors in the States? You have experience assessing someone who needs sponsorship for a working visa. Yeah, so Andrea, we do have tons of experience working with people from all over the world. So I'll just go ahead and start with that. Chris can definitely touch on the ways that we've been able to help guide people in transitioning their careers, pitching their career focuses to better figure out what companies they should be going after, and the positions to make sure that they can get a visa. Guys, it looks like Chris is just coming in and out today. That's all right. Cindy and I, we're here. We're not leaving you guys alone. We're here to do it. This will work more smoothly, hopefully.
And I just dropped a comment on our username. So you guys, if you ever want any of those free downloadable resources that we talked about, definitely check that link out. And we'll have so many: cover letter, resume, anything you can think of, interview prep. So go check it out. Yeah. And yeah. All right. I think Chris is back.
Chris, were you able to hear that question? I'm happy to repeat it.
Yes, go ahead and repeat that question.
I said someone asked, actually Andrea asked, do our services make sense for someone with 8+ years of experience who has worked cross-functionally in different international headquarters and is now looking to find some sponsorship for work in the States using a visa, so on and so forth. But they're just curious, how does our services help them get to that point? What are the best ways to help them pitch their career path, and what can we do to help?
And Cheyenne, can you repeat that question, the last portion of that question, please?
Yeah, they just wanted to know, because they have so much experience, how can our services help them, right? How do they know that our services would be good for someone with 8 years of international experience looking to find sponsorship for a working visa? How do we guide them there?
This is for somebody that's a little bit more senior. Is that correct?
8+ years.
And 8+ years. And I'm sorry. Can you repeat that one more time?
They just wanted to know how our services would work for them as someone who has senior experience working internationally and looking for a sponsorship for a working visa. How is our services going to be beneficial to them?
Absolutely. So if you're a little bit more senior, that's fine. We have a professional tier service within Wonsulting. This is typically that for those who are typically have over 8 years of work experience, right? Who are kind of going through their mid-career stage in their lives, is that you're going to work with those who are a little bit more senior in their professional career too. So we have other career coaches on our team that are over the age of 35, even in their 40s, that can help you in terms of what's next. Sponsorship, there's a lot of companies, so forth. There's a lot of companies out there. As long as you provide the value, right, and your resume is solid, you're a great candidate, companies will still sponsor you. There's a lot of sponsorship out there.
Awesome. All right. So another quick question that I saw here, Chris, if we can move on to this one. So this is a bit more specific into project management. Here, one second. Let me scroll back up. All right. So Erica asked, any advice for anyone here in the project management field trying to transition from finance to project management, applying to project coordinator, project assistant, and junior business analyst positions?
Yeah, Cindy, great question. So when you work in finance, essentially you're working on financial related projects, right? So if you want to move into a finance role, into a project management role, make sure that you document all of your projects that you worked on in terms of your role, right? So if there's multiple roles or multiple projects that you worked on the finance side, make sure that you highlight that in your resume. There's a resume template that's shared on wonsulting.com as well. And also Jonathan shared it as well, but there's a project section where you can really highlight all the projects that you worked on in your finance role, right? You'll see this a lot, that a lot of people change industries. They'll move from finance into project management to finance. As long as you have the correlating mindset and experience, you should be able to still interview for those roles, right? So that's where you need to really convey this to the recruiters, saying, hey, you know what? I worked on a lot of projects in my finance role. That's why I'm seeking a more deeper project management role, because it fits more of my personality and what I want to move into next. A PMP is a great certification to gain as well. The PMP exam is not an easy exam, but it's something that really holds a lot of clout, just as much as an MBA. A PMP and an MBA almost are pretty close because of just the overall knowledge that it takes to earn a PMP.
Love it, Chris. Thank you so much. Guys, can you believe it? We're already 40 minutes into this conversation. No way. This is insane. You guys are killing it. These questions are rolling in faster than even we can get to them. So we're trying to get to you all, we promise. I think that this is a really great point for us to kind of take a look at some of these questions and shift a little bit more back to that career path planning focus, right? So one of our comments said, I'm a new grad and I'm applying to different industries that I find are interesting. And this person is trying to plan out their career path, right? What's the best way? How do I use hard skills to showcase which areas I'm good in and why it is that my skills are transferable in all these different industries? Chris, what is the best way for us to advise our comment to the person who commented this to, take a step in the right direction? What do they need to do next?
Absolutely. So, Lisa Lee, thank you so much for that question. So, you're a new grad applying to interesting industries. These are not similar at all. That's fine. Do not mention this on your interviewing and during your interview process. Also, do not mention about wanting to work overseas. Right? You have to make the job and the role the number one priority. It's about them and not about you. Once you get into their doors, once they make you an offer, once you earn a higher performance standard, then you could really start making decisions, right? So even if these industries are different, you got to get your foot in the door. You have to get in first before you can start planning for an overseas career. Overseas is great. Working in overseas in Asia, in Europe, those are great opportunities. There's a lot of companies that will offer a transfer into those countries. Companies like Amazon, even Google, they'll get you into other offices in other countries. But make sure that you make that hiring manager your number one priority and make them feel that that's the only role that you want and that you're all in.
Awesome. So we have another one, actually similar to just career planning in general. So Chris Maria asks, I'm a geophysicist from Venezuela, less than 1 year experience, moved to the USA 2 years ago. I want to get into data analytics. I'm enrolled to start a master in August. What could I do on short term to get an entry level in analytics, having some intermediate coding skills? I work full time as a healthcare CSR. Chris, let me know if you got that, and I can repeat it if needed. Oh, you're just on mute.
You're still on mute, Chris. If you guys didn't know, we do this really painful thing at Wonsulting where anytime someone's done talking, we wait 10 seconds in our meeting. Our COO, Jerry, he is the king of this, and it really is to give people the chance to say whatever's on their minds because that awkward silence is killer. So you guys are getting firsthand experience of it here. It's so funny while we're working through it, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Cindy, can you repeat that last question one more time, please?
Yes, of course. Okay, so Maria is a geophysicist from Venezuela, and she has less than 1 year experience and moved to the USA around 2 years ago. She wants to get into data analytics, and she's enrolled to start a master in August. What could she do short term to get an entry level in analytics, having some I think he'll be back. I'll repeat the last part when he gets back.
We'll keep going until we can get to that, Maria. I am holding on to your question. Don't think we're forgetting about you. Okay. Someone said they got Resume I this past Tuesday. Congratulations. How are you loving it? What bullet points have you made for your resume? Tell me below. Make sure to let us know. I'm adding Chris back in here. I also see tons of computer emojis. Awesome. Awesome. We're so happy to be here for you guys. No problem at all. Maria, so Chris is back now. Let's go ahead and jump into your conversation. Chris, just a quick rundown. She's a geophysicist from Venezuela. She has less than 1 year of experience, but she lives in the States. She's been here for about 2 years. End goal is to get into data analytics, and she's currently enrolled to start her master's next month. What could she do short term to get an entry-level role in analytics, having some intermediate coding skills?
Can you, Cheyenne, can you repeat that last portion of the question again? So she's currently enrolled in a data analytics program.
She's currently enrolled to get her master's in August, but she wants to get into an entry-level analytics role in the meantime, and she has intermediate coding skills. What could she do here for planning her career path?
Absolutely. Great question. Start applying immediately, right? But also start networking. Also, great way to start right now is to land an internship before you graduate. It looks like you're graduating here later this year, right? So see if you can land a 3 or 4 month internship. Get something on your resume, right? Entry level, there's a lot of entry level data analyst roles. There's a lot of roles out there that are entry level that you can move in pretty quickly. You just need to make sure that you land some type of internship that's going to land you opportunities down the road when you start applying for full-time roles.
Got it. Love it. Chris, we're also seeing a comment here coming in from Keith. Says, I've been unemployed for almost 2 years this November, and I've written my resume and my cover letter hundreds of times. I've tried to make them personable, but still, even despite taking courses on interviewing and all this other stuff, they're still not getting to the you're hired stage. If they're planning their career path, what could they be doing differently? What can they be doing now based on your advice to get them to that success, to that you're hired?
Absolutely. Great question. So first off, thank you so much for being open and honest about not working for almost the last 2 years. It's okay. There's a lot of people who've been on a career break, but being open and honest about that is really bold, right? So with a recruiter, and depending on your work experience, I'd love to take a look at your resume. There's a lot of recruiters, a lot of companies are willing to hire those who've had a career break. It's okay to have a career break. A lot of people do. Right? But you have to get yourself out there. You have to really sharpen up your resume and your cover letter. That's really important. And also preparing for a job, interview job preps through Wonsulting. We can have an interview job prep session with you, is to go through the steps in preparing for that. right? And also, I would say, in a way, presenting yourself, right, that you're extremely still competent, regardless if you've been out of the workforce for a year and a half, that you still have it, right? So there's going to be a lot of reasons as to why you're out for the last 18 months, and we can, with the Wonsulting coaches, we can put together a plan for that for you.
100%. I would also like to say, Keith, that transparency, honestly, we applaud you. Wonsulting is not here to judge you. We're so here to support you. We think that this is actually a really great opportunity for you to learn new things about maybe to redirect your scope, right? How do we fix this? If you're not getting there, what can we do to help? Whether that's a paid service or using our free resources, we are here for you. Something that, Chris, Cindy, and I can all attest to as well is it's becoming less uncommon for people to have career breaks, right? Whether that's from the pandemic, whether that's because you wanted to take time off to travel, all of those things are okay. That work-life balance is super necessary. And sometimes getting back into it is just harder than we anticipate. But even if you hadn't known yet, even LinkedIn has the opportunity to say you've had a career break on their career section when you're putting in your work history experience. And that's okay. Something that a recruiter can definitely take a look at is maybe even though you were unemployed, like you mentioned, you're taking courses, you're pouring into yourself, into your craft, and making sure that despite not being currently full-time employed, you are doing the necessary steps and putting in the work to be involved, to be up to date, and to be on the top of your game. Just make sure to frame your, the past 2 years like that and tell them how much hard work and dedication you've put in. And when you find the right recruiter who understands and is willing to listen, I promise you things will turn up. So we're happy to help. We're here for you. But I promise it's not as uncommon as you guys may think. If any of you are struggling with this as well, please feel free to let us know, email us, message us on LinkedIn. We're here to help. Let's keep going, okay? Let me take a look here. Cindy, do you see any other questions you want to jump into right away? There's a ton in here.
Yeah, I'm getting swamped almost in them, but I think we have one here. So,
It's okay. Just keep going.
Mahima has asked, hi, I would be shifting from finance and tech to business development. I'm shifting to another industry. How should I convince the recruiter that I am fit for the job? So I guess this has a lot to do with kind of just how you pitch yourself within the interview itself, and whether it's like, I guess before the interview, we can start with like the resume and cover letter, things like that. So just making sure to check out, if you haven't already, like our cover letter service, our downloadable cover letter resource. Yes. And checking that out and really making sure that you are able to pitch yourself in the best way possible using those resources. And then moving into the interview, maybe Chris can also give more insight on just the hiring and recruiting process. Chris, so could I just say this, repeat this question for you if you got it? So Mahima asked, she's shifting from finance and tech to business development, and she wants to know how she can convince the recruiter
Yes, go ahead and repeat that question. Yes.
that she's fit for the job.
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that question one more time, please?
Yep. So Mahima is shifting from finance and tech to business development, and she's wondering how she can convince her recruiter that she's fit for the job.
Can you repeat that second portion? I heard tech business development and convincing the recruiter
that she's fit for the job.
Absolutely. So does the candidate have business development experience? Yes or no?
It's not stated. Maybe, Mahima, if you could just drop down below if you have prior experience, and maybe we can get back to you. Shan, are you seeing any other quick questions that we can go through before
Actually, Mahima, I'll go ahead and jump in on this one just while we wait for to see if you give us more info in the chat, and Chris can jump back in on that. But something that I would say is something John, Jerry, and I really talk about when creating ways and giving advice to, all of you, to our followers, is what are your hard skills, right? What have you learned in your current position that makes these skills and what you know valuable to another industry, to another team? When you list out these hard skills, it gives you the chance to cross-reference. Do my skill sets currently align with this other industry, with this other position? And even if it's through an internship, or maybe you did a apprenticeship for it, all of those still give you resources to be able to frame yourself and your positions that you've worked in the best way to show the hiring manager and recruiter that you are qualified. You can still do the skills, do the job, do the different requirements, the things that are required of you based on your current skill set. So I think that the next part would be shifting from finance to tech. That's what we just went over. Perfect. Our email addresses, Erica and everyone in the chat, are all of our first names at wonsulting.com. Feel free to send us a message. Perfect. I see so many of you guys saying you guys are going to connect with one another. Recruiters are up in here giving each other the opportunity to kind of connect together. We love to see it. You guys are saying you're going to reference people to other people. I love it. There's so much support here, you guys. You're such a community. We're so thankful for all of you. We're happy to help. The moments of silence are hilarious. Thank you so much, Keith. They're brutal on our end, but we're glad that they make you laugh. When we use consulting services, are we still connected with the coaches afterwards? So that's a good point. We're never going to have you guys get a service from us and then be like, okay, bye. So Chris can attest to this. When we do our career consulting and planning, we're definitely here to guide you, and we want to know how it's going. Chris, you want to touch base on maybe what that protocol looks like in terms of a full cycle recruitment if someone buys a service or coaching from us?
Absolutely. So the full cycle includes career consulting. That's a big portion. That's a 2-part call. We also have job search strategies, how to find those recruiters, how to find those jobs, how to grab the attention of recruiters, right? How to stand out from other candidates. We also have job interview prep, right? That's really important. You land that interview. We'll help you prepare for that job interview. We're going to go over commonly asked questions. We're going to go over how to answer questions in the STAR format, which is situation, task, action, and result. And then also we're gonna revise your resume and your LinkedIn profile as well. So it's a full experience, and it's definitely worth the investment, because one job can drastically change your entire life.
100%. Okay, perfect. Really, the career break option, I'm going to add it today. Yes, Keith, add it to your resume, add it to your LinkedIn. Let people know. We're totally down to help you too if you need help there. I hope that answered your question about our full cycle recruitment experience, guys. We have about 1 more minute, and then we do have to log off because we are past time. But I did just want to stay for a couple extra seconds to make sure we get everything in. Someone said, how can I best answer to a recruiter if I don't have the answer to their question? So I can jump in on this one really quickly. One of the best things that we can suggest you do is actually to understand that one of the first things that a recruiter is going to ask you is, how are you? Right? This is the first question inevitably of every interview. And most people will say, I'm good, thanks. How are you? But not you. You guys are not going to do that, okay? Put a praise emoji in the chat to know and tell us that you guys are not going to do that, because what you guys are going to do is tell them actually how you're doing. I just got a really good glass of water. I went to the gym this morning. I'm feeling really relaxed and super prepared for our interview today. How's your day going? What have you been up to? This gives you a totally different opportunity to reframe your interview so it's not so overwhelming, so that way you feel more invited. And if, let's say, they ask you a question that you're not 100% on, it's okay to be honest. You can say, while I don't have the fullest answer to this question, I can tell you that I would love to take time after this interview to maybe do some research on that and present you with my answer via email later today. I think that, instead of trying to make up something here on the spot, I'd rather do the diligence and put in the hard work to find out what the correct answer is and what I think the most authentic answer is, and present that to you as a way to showcase my commitment to not only our interview and our conversation today, but the way I would approach anything I didn't know on the job as well. Perfect. Jerry Lee's missing out on the sushi. I will let them know. I will let Jerry know. You missed
Cheyenne,
it.
during our
Go ahead, Chris.
During our job interview preparation session, we'll go through all the commonly asked questions.
Yes,
right.
We do.
So there's not one question you will not be prepared to answer. Right.
100%.
So it's really important to go through that coaching session with our team.
Yes, 100%. But also as well, like let's say, it's about maybe it's a more actionable question, right? Maybe it's, in this instance, what would you do? While Wonsulting prepares you for 99.999% of those questions, sometimes you might just be caught off guard, and it's okay to work through those as well. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to our live. We are so happy you guys are here. We hope you had fun. We hope we answered a ton of your questions. Yes, drop your guys' LinkedIns down below, connect with people, join, whether you guys are on our YouTube live, whether you guys are on LinkedIn live, just know that we are here for you. We are so happy to be able to help everybody. Stay tuned every Friday to be able to get some more content from us. And I promise, we'll try to minimize those awkward silences moving forward, but at least you guys get a little glimpse into how internal Wonsulting team meetings go with our 10-second silence. I'm telling you guys, it's the best thing you can do, but sometimes it is killer. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a really great day. Enjoy your weekend. And on behalf of Wonsulting and all of us here, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate all of you.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
guys. Bye.